Jaws, one of the most iconic films of the 20th century, thanks to its mixture of breathtaking cinematography, stellar performances, masterful direction from a then 27-year-old Steven Spielberg, and John Williams' two most famous musical notes in cinema history. This masterclass in suspense still manages to thrill and terrify audiences 50 years later. This is Vader Reviews. We are honored that you would join us. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to thank my coffee supporters. You guys help make the magic happen around here, and you are totally wizard. If you'd like to help support the channel, join the Empire today by becoming a member. And now, my viewers, we will discuss the biggest fish story of all time. Based on Peter Benchley's best-selling novel, Jaws swam into theaters on June 20th, 1975, and made quite a splash in the box office, making waves in Hollywood as the first summer blockbuster, earning a jaw-dropping $476.5 million. That's $2.5 billion adjusted for inflation, making it the highest-grossing film of all time, until a little movie called Star Wars came along 2 years later, in 1977. The plot of the film is simple. Things are going swimmingly at Amity Island until a monster shark with the munchies decides to turn this sleepy coastal town into his very own private surf and turf snack shack. So it's up to Chief Brody and his chums to set sail and hunt down the guilty shark in this fantastic man versus nature adventure, packed to the gills with jawsome excitement, from a time when a PG rating still had some bite to it. But while this particular Amity horror made audiences avoid the water, behind the scenes, the production was an even bigger nightmare. From conflicts between the cast to mechanical failures, the film was hardly smooth sailing. Tensions were so high, in fact, director Steven Spielberg had a panic attack in his hotel room. And yet, out of these difficulties came a resounding success. Upon its release, 67 million people, just under a third of the US population at the time, flocked to theaters to see it again and again. Jaws went on to be nominated for Best Picture and won 3 Oscars for Best Editing, Best Original Score for John Williams' iconic theme, and Best Sound. Fun fact, 3 mechanical sharks were made at a cost of $250,000 each. And among the myriad of problems faced during production was the fact that they rarely, if ever, worked, which earned the shark the nickname of the Great White Turd from Steven Spielberg and his entire crew. While tales of the mechanical shark's failures have been told time and time again, what you may not know is that during pre-production, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and John Milius were touring the workshop looking at the shark animatronic. Interested in special effects, George Lucas stuck his head into the mouth of the shark to see how it worked. Spielberg and Milius decided to prank him by closing the jaws on his head. They soon realized, however, Lucas was stuck and struggled to free him. Shortly after, they quickly ran from the workshop like frightened schoolboys, because according to Milius, we knew we'd broken something expensive. While Jaws is such a well-crafted, brilliantly paced film, after all these years, it can be difficult to say anything that hasn't been said before. But I truly believe it's a movie that all aspiring filmmakers should watch and study. The way Spielberg builds the tension and suspense throughout the picture is a masterclass in storytelling. All of the performances are naturalistic, from Roy Scheider's iconic ad-libbed, "You're gonna need a bigger boat" line, to Robert Shaw's gripping USS Indianapolis speech. Every character feels unique and real. And despite all of the hardships, the difficult working conditions, tensions among the crew, broken equipment, something amazing came out of this chaos. And there's a lesson in that. If you're working on a project that feels impossible, don't give up. Sometimes, the most difficult situations are where the magic happens. The broken shark forces creative thinking and leads to better ideas. So just remember, whatever your broken shark is right now, there's always a bigger fish. You just have to catch it. Jaws has been thrilling audiences the world over for half a century now, with its perfect casting, brilliant pacing, iconic characters, and phenomenal film score by John Williams. It is a true masterpiece, and a reminder that even when everything goes wrong, it can lead to one of the most iconic films of all time. So here's to Spielberg's first major motion picture, and to all the storytellers and dreamers out there trying to make their monsters work. Because when you feel like your boat's too small and the odds are stacked against you, you don't need a bigger boat. All you need is a big imagination.